And we're live.
Yay! And again, I look pretty small.
It's just the camera angle. Yeah, actually,
I like how we're on the same camera, and yet it's the camera angle. That's the camera trick, like they did with the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
right?
exactly. That's what I'm doing.
Jeremy's actually standing on giant wooden blocks.
Right.
Yeah,
it's forced perspective. You're Hobbit-sized. Nice. Excellent. Oh yeah, thanks Abyss. So Abyss gifted
awesome.
some memberships. So James Baranter was gifted a membership.
Yahoo.
Nice.
We're
So
members
welcome.
now as well.
Yes, welcome.
It's the most hilarious thing.
Yes.
We are now, thanks to other people,
Yes.
members of our own.
We become members.
Jeez. Yeah, what was that line you had last line? Not only am I the president, I'm also a member. I'm also a user. Whatever.
Yes. All right. Excellent. So great. And well, I can mention that on the regular podcast too, but the epilogue for Blade Runner just went up.
Nice. I saw that, yeah.
And I wanted to thank Stefan J for doing a super thanks, a $20 super thanks for posting that. Yeah. So thanks. Yeah. And he mentioned in a comment that it was good. He didn't know what to do with some of the NPCs in that campaign, so it gave him some inspiration,
cool.
which way to take them. So that's great because that's
See, that's why you watch or listen to or consume actual plays.
Yeah,
right? For ideas for how to run your own game, inspiration, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I watch it, right? I understand some people watch for entertainment. I'm just like,
right. Yeah, so that's great.
Silly voices, inside jokes, eating, dice rolling. Not why I listen to APs. Right? In fact, why I don't listen to APs anymore. Anyway.
Yeah, I think especially when it's professional voice actors, they don't realize like there's a certain tolerance for how much of that squeaky voice or the the low rumbly voice
I get enough of it working in a Japanese office.
Yeah, right.
Right. I get enough of that high squeaky voice with the customer service voice, right? Like people I work with, like when they get on the phone for that customer service, like the voice raises like 2 octaves, right? And it's kind of like, okay, you kind of have to do it because that's what's expected here. But I'm like, oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not nice. Can't do with it.
Yeah, that's brutal. So how's it going with you? So pixel art. I've seen some pixel art. Yeah,
I have a problem. Someone please just like stand behind me with a stick. And I'm just like, no, you don't need it anymore. Stop it. I think I'm seriously gonna have to learn to code. Right? Because I have so much of this
you
stuff.
want to do some game? Yeah,
like, I actually, okay. Tangent, right? I downloaded that Game Boy Studio, which is pretty cool. For some reason, it wouldn't really work that well on my machine. And also the Godot engine, right? So one of those like visual things would be pretty cool, right? So I don't know, I'm a millennial kid, right? If I'm not instantly good at something, I lose interest.
Right.
So it's like, okay, let me try this. Whew, all right, never mind. All right, I tried it, right? So, but yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's nice. It's interesting, right? I like pixel art, especially the smaller the better. It's the same reason I like little Lego micro builds because it's like the placement and color of like a single tiny little component can affect the whole thing, right? And that's not to say I don't like larger pixel art, but it's like, nope, that one pixel is doing a lot of work the smaller you get. So I think it's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and I'd love to see your game design ideas like in
that
small,
instantly get abandoned,
but in small strategy games and small like video games like computer games. Yeah, so if there are any programmers out there interested in working with a designer,
or you know what, go buy the pixel art asset pack yourself, right? Because that's where I'm from.
But somebody that would work with you on coding, that would be, or at least have some good recommendations on what like easy kind of drag and drop or just like scripting. You're not actually like coding like C++ or anything.
No, I think like both Game Boy Studio and Godot look pretty user friendly, right? That they're like visual, like you're connecting nodes, or the language is pretty regular as opposed to like kind of like you're like I tried looking at like Pico 8 stuff. I'm like, oh, this is actually like coding language. Like I have no idea what the fuck all that means.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But you look at like other things, you're like, okay, I kind of understand what this is. Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Sweet.
Nice. Choppy video. Let me let me double check the
Speaking of programming or coding.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, how you guys doing? We're getting excellent on this end, but hopefully it's not. Yeah, I bumped the bit rate way down.
Right, because we kept getting.
Yeah, and I think it was mostly Twitch that was complaining about that. Yeah, let me know, guys, if sound and video, if you're getting weird.
I'm just talking way too fast for it to
Yeah, that's right. We're moving at a different speed.
Future, too.
Right.
I'm sure people are sick of that joke.
Nice. Oh yeah, Miguel just mentioned the 10th edition dropped. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you want to spend like what $800 to play Space Hulk, now you can. Because that's all they're making. They're making like for the previous, the Arc of Omens, they're making a bunch of, and the Kill Team, a bunch of basically Space Hulk terrain that's insanely expensive, and now they're doing the Terminators and the Gene Stealers. So there you go. And now you can play
seen the Gene Stealers.
Oh, that's right. No, they haven't. Maybe they haven't. Yeah, they haven't released. It was just the Torma.
Yeah, I'm never buying another GW model in my life. Right, it's way too expensive. But like my feed has been like. It's like half pixel art, half porn, half that, right? Do the math, right? Like, I'm just like, 10th edition into all these Warhammer drops. And I was like, whoa, new Termagants? We haven't had new Termagants since like 96.
Yeah.
Right? If there was a game I would do, it would be Space Hulk, except I can't because the Japanese tables don't fit it.
Right.
We were able to do that one mission, and then, don't have a big enough table for this, right? So.
Yeah, they basically, when they were teasing, people were suspecting, another edition of Space Hulk, but no, it's 10th edition. So it's basically, and they have the boarding party rules now. So the limited army. So basically, it's rules for Space Hulk in 40K. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
So we'll see how that goes. But I love the hype. It's like the biggest, most amazing edition ever. It's like not even close, not even slightly interesting. And now we know their trick because they're simplifying. They're like. Okay, now it's streamlined, simplified, but not simple, still strategically deep. So they're going to take all the bullshit out and then spend 3 years putting all the bullshit back in to, because the rules are what sell the models. They're just
I wonder if the rules do sell the models though.
No, but they really do. The way that they release these codex and like the new hotness and stuff, it's just like, yeah, you got to play this because this is insanely powerful. Oh wait, no, and then they keep what ends up being like the most playable army, it just rotates throughout the whole.
Well, I don't know.
Codex.
I kind of have a lot of thoughts, right? Like, yes, continuing to support your game is how you get people, how you maintain enthusiasm in it, and you kind of build a community, right? Like for TTRPGs, it's like adventure and support rather than the rules, right? Mm-hmm. So the codexes and all the armies are kind of like the supplemental stuff that keep building up the hype, and you can't roll it out all at once, right? Although I imagine if you did roll it out kind of all at once, it would all be kind of tested and balanced, right? Mm-hmm. So something like Turnip 28 or like Sludge, of course, it's like smaller, it's a bit more generic, but everything inside is pretty balanced, right? And like I know at least for Turnip, like the guy who's doing that, there's like new cults coming out, and like the Discord is full of, I need playtesters before this comes out, because they got to make sure it's balanced. So at a scale like 40K, you would be playtesting for a long time, but you kind of have to be, otherwise you end up with the problem they have about like, oh crap, wildly overpowered. Here's a war scroll or whatever the fuck they call it. Like it's errata, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's gonna get through, but I don't know.
It's just so weird. I guess. I don't know. And maybe, someone that's really following the rules and everything would have a better sense of this. But does each edition, apart from like the storyline changes and the lore and stuff and the factions that they focus on in like the starter sets and everything?
Oh, you mean the fucking Imperium?
Yeah. Does each edition have a certain flavor or a certain thing where it's like, oh, that's the one that plays like this, that's the one that plays like this, or they're all just like, it's just this. They're just shuffling around emphasis on now vehicles, and now it's really it's a weird thing that it took them 30 years. They're still reinventing this system.
The last version I played any heavily was, I don't even fucking remember, second, third, whenever you were building up a hand of warp cards to power your zone throw.
Oh, right.
And armor penetration rules were like a D12 plus a D8 plus a whatever, right? And you rolled that with the old thud gun template. I mean, like that's the last time I seriously played, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just really bizarre. And so now they've eliminated the morale phase and the psychic phase, so they're trying to streamline the phases of the of a turn. And so you didn't think of that 30 years ago.
Well, no, they didn't. You know what? Maybe I'd have to go look at the edition chart. Maybe they did.
Yeah, and then they put it back in.
So I'm absolutely. It's funny. I'm absolutely not against simple games that have like an emergent complexity, and that's something I'm actually going for, like the games I design, right? Because you don't want a giant and rule book, right? You just want like rule, right? Pretty work, brain. Things that are fairly compact and easy to remember, and then how they interact is where you get the complexity and like the strategy. Like, okay, I know if this unit does that, and anyway, right? So I think that's a noble goal to go for. I wonder what the fans want. Okay, minor props to GW for not like crowdsourcing the shit out of this, like 5th edition,
that's
right?
True.
So.
Yeah, that I guess you do, as opposed to if you're going to compare it to like Dungeons and Dragons, they're not saying, what do you guys want? What do you guys want? Okay, we'll throw that in. in. They're saying, okay, this is what we're doing. They have some sort of, design mission or whatever, and they want to make this new edition do this. But it's weird. It seems, and I still can't believe they're going to go with a 3-year cycle, because that they released 9th edition in the middle of the pandemic. Like, it came out like 2020. So we were already summer of 2020, so it was the midst, and I was like, why are they doing this? And the same, I think they did an Age of Sigmar edition too. Like, why are they doing this? It's really strange, but they want to stay on this weird 3-year schedule. So there are literally people that just got their codexes, and now they just throw them away. Just
welcome to the club, right?
That
is the GW hobby, right? Like if you're going to play competitively, it's like, cool, waiting forever for this codex, just got it, new edition. Oh, right.
So so you just play 9th edition, angrily for a while. And the one thing they're doing differently that was kind of strange, maybe I think it was with 8th when they released the indexes, is so they give you rules all right away, and these indexes you had to pay for them. They were softcover, way overpriced softcover, and they were just kind of garbage rules to just make sure every unit that had something. So they're doing that again. You can buy physical books, but they're going to give you those indexes for free. Maybe because there is going to be there are people like right at the end of this cycle that are going to be so pissed because they just now have rules specific to a version, to an edition, that are now erased. So
yeah, I've said it before. I'm marginally okay with like rotation cycles when it's something like Magic or Netrunner, because I don't feel invested in the cards as much, right? But when it's something like a miniatures game like 40K, where I'm just like, I want my models to look good, like I want to collect this thing, I don't want to, then you can, of course you can still play, but there's even if you're not doing tournament, I feel there's this sense of loss when you're like, well, I can't play this in the current rules, right? I got to use this old one, and maybe you like the old one better, but it's still kind of like right?
Yeah.
Much less cool with that when it's miniatures you assemble and pay like $500 for a single HQ model.
Right.
Okay, that's hyperbole, but I mean, we're getting there.
Right. Yeah, I heard an interesting theory. Someone was saying that GW's pricing model is actually, they're literally trying to stay 5 years ahead of inflation. So that's why their prices are so insane. And as soon as anything gets, as soon as like actual materials and taxes and costs and everything get close to that, then they bump it up again. So that's why these weird, these weird price raises where you're like, how are people affording this? How are they even coming up with these numbers? But it's 5 year, they're projecting 5 years ahead.
You know what? As a business plan, I don't hate that, right? You're kind of like, okay, we're guessing that inflation and cost of materials is going to increase by this much in 5 years, so let's price
stay
it
ahead. It's that's really I don't know. It does. I mean, it creates the thing though, just like with overpriced Apple devices and stuff. It's like it creates a at
least your Space Marines, your Space Marines have like a headphone jack, right?
Right. Yeah, they're not all Bluetooth. Damn. All right. So are we ready to get started complaining about
okay, no more
games we're never
going
to play?
I do got to admit, the new Hormagaunts look pretty sweet. Won't be getting them, but those things needed an upgrade.
Yeah, that was interesting too. The Terminator redesign is just an embiggening. Like
I didn't even notice the size difference because it wasn't next to an old one, right?
Yeah. So they it just basically kept the same design because they don't want to, and also because that makes sense in the storyline because these are like ancient designs, and so why would they be changing? That was a weird.
Okay, lore. I hate that word. Like fiction wise, that's what kind of gets me, right? Like when I was making that Cortex Prime Deathwatch thing, like armor, the armor can develop like in spirit because it's so old. And then like you're playing the game and you're just like people getting mowed down left, right, and center. And so I'm like, so what? Where does all that armor go? Right? How do you have this like millennia old armor when it's just getting like, well, there it is on the battlefield. It's now scrap for orcs. All right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, the orcs appreciate all that spirit involved.
I do like how orc technology simply works because they collectively believe it should.
Yes.
Like that's the best bit of 40K.
How do you think we got to the moon?
Yeah.
Well, if you believe we did.
A film studio. Anyway.
All right, let's get started for this week. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, BRP for ORC.
Oh, okay. Okay, a lot of acronyms there.
Right.
All right.
Gangs of Rome on Kickstarter.
Gangs of Rome, okay.
Yeah. Paizo's Magic Sale. And the Warhammer RPG Humble Bundle, which I think somebody just mentioned in chat.
Cool, nice.
All right.
We're on topic, chat.
Yes.
I like it.
We're trying to stay. All right, so let's start with so Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest, the basic roleplay system, is now being specifically redesigned and not heavily redesigned, updated for ORC, for the Open RPG Creative License. So Chaosium's pledge to this Paizo-led project is they're following through with it. So the 1,500 designers and publishers that pledged to ORC as soon as this was back in January when this was happening with the OGL, they are following through. So Chaosium is following through, and of course. The basic roleplay system debuted in 1978, so it was first used for RuneQuest. So Steve Perrin and Greg Stafford put that together for RuneQuest, and then followed up in 81 with Call of Cthulhu, and then soon after that, Pendragon.
Okay, not to keep beating the dead horse that is the open gaming license, but for games like Call of Cthulhu and basic role-playing game and RuneQuest, I've always wondered why they used the OGL. Apart from the only thing I can kind of come up with is it was a useful template that someone had already made that they therefore they didn't have to make a new one, right? I guess it was kind of easier to adopt this one rather than make another one that was kind of competing, except not. But it was always kind of strange to me, like, this game doesn't really have anything to do with D&D.
Right.
Why do you need this OGL, right? As a template, okay, sure, but just make a new one, which I guess is what the ORC is now.
Yeah,
finally,
right.
30 years or however many years later, 20.
Yeah. So, and this basic roleplay was created as a separate set of standalone rules in 1980. So they basically meant it to be a setting,
universal.
Like a universal setting. And of course, this is, if you don't know that system, it's the percentile die 100-point system. So so they're following through with creating a license that irrevocably and unquestionably keeps alive the spirit of the open game license without any connection to Hasbro and whatever their shenanigans are going to be. So that means that it's going to put the game systems SDR, the system reference document, under this license. And the reaction, of course, we already knew that Wizards of the Coast then put the core rules for D&D under the public Creative Commons. But still, you've got 1,500 publishers backing this the rival ORC license. And so this will be the first major release under the ORC.
Oh, nice.
And will specifically cater to use via this new license. So that's why they did a little rewriting. It's going to be published as a physical book, this new. And so it's going to be the basic role-playing the Universal Game Engine will be the name of the book. It'll be the core rules for creating characters, progressing through levels, combat, magic, superpowers, weapons, equipment, vehicles, etc. And setting agnostic, of course. And the quote from Chaosium was they want people to have the ability to develop their own games royalty-free and without further permission from Chaosium under the ORC license.
And that's basically all the OGL. Well, okay, for non-D&D related things, that's what the OGL was, right? We the company agree that we won't take legal action against you, provided you kind of stay within these things.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of it does seem, especially when you have something as borrowing from so many sources, including like ancient sources, for like fantasy, that you have to do that, but otherwise you can infinitely just be suing each other for things that feel like other things. So it would be just this endless cycle of litigation if they wouldn't have.
And it wouldn't be endless. It would be whoever has the most money wins, right?
That's right.
That's the way it works. Yeah.
So Hasbro would own everything right now. So this will be released digitally next month in April, and the physical book later this year.
Cool.
So pretty cool. And something that I noticed on Kickstarter, Gangs of Rome, a 28 millimeter gang fight skirmish game.
Okay.
So this is going to be the second edition of this rulebook. So kind of just a revised edition of the rulebook. And they want to print an A4 physical book and highly detailed white metal miniatures for the game.
White metal, right? Okay.
Yes, yeah. So it's old school, and especially the sculpts and the look and everything. It has a very old school feel. But the interesting part about it, so this is Footsore Miniatures and Games.
Okay. Yep.
Is producing this. This is version 2 of the rulebook, new core, advanced, and campaign rules. And they're going to do also full color MDF tokens along with this campaign.
Ooh, full color MDF tokens.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So the current miniatures will work with the new rules, so that you're not losing any miniatures. And then they're also including new miniatures and I think some new mechanics with the this revision of the rules. If you pledged early, which there's only a couple of days left, so it's way beyond the first 24 hours. But they had a
Or if you pledged late.
right.
I want to see someone come up with like a late bird.
Right, if you get right in there, the
last minute pledge level. Yeah.
you get something special. But you can still get their the Kickstarter miniature for £5 if you are still interested in him. So the interesting thing about the rules, so the city's elite deployed relatively well-organized brutal gangs to do their bidding and enact their schemes. So basically, the player is playing that elite, the person that's like vying for a position in in Rome, like managing their power and trying to become, a member of the Senate or like use their influence to gain. And so they're doing it on the street level and, kind of sabotaging or going after each other. So I like that idea that it's giving the players, you're playing actually some sort of role. It's not just God from above moving pieces around. You actually have a motivation. So there could even be some role play or narrative in that.
Yeah, I like that as well too, where it's like, okay, the player's not obviously on the table, right? But like other games, you can always do like, okay, well, pretend you're the general, right? And pick a figure that is you. And you're
Right,
like, oh, okay, right, fine. But this one, you're like, no, it kind of adds like, it adds another level of like reason to be fighting, or like you said, like some kind of like role play, where it's like the player themselves is going to be like, okay, well, I want to do this thing, therefore we should play like this type of battle or this campaign, or I'll put these people in my thing, right? So I'd like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. So another quote from the Kickstarter. So with your position of influence, you can equip your gang as they take to the streets and alleyways of the city, advancing your interests and confounding your foes. Your strategies mixed with their savagery can gain power and influence enough to change your future and that of Rome itself.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Let's go look at this.
full color rulebook, 28 millimeter skirmish game, and
I'm going to have to go look at the miniatures because, by God, I do not need a reason to buy more historic miniatures.
right.
Especially in a whole nother era. Like, I don't have any kind of Roman Empire era stuff. I don't need a reason to go buy more, but I'm still going to go look at this.
Right. All right, give me a second here. I think Chrome has become my enemy. I had on my cartoon stream, I think Chrome sabotaged my live stream as well. Looks like it might be doing that here as well. So take a look at that. There's just a few days left of that campaign, and it's a British company, and they've been doing it for a while. This isn't like their first rodeo. So and this game is it's a revised edition of the game. So you can just get the rulebook and tokens, or they have a huge variety of miniatures and add-ons that they're doing. Rome's Most Wanted is adding some criminals. There's the Mob, which are like larger, like 40 or 50 mil base with multiple citizens.
Cool.
The Inquisition, which are the notorious characters. So they should have everything. So the plan is to have everything dispatched beginning of next year for delivery. So that the Kickstarter will close end of this month or soon in a couple of days, and then April the pledge manager goes live. All right. So, well, I still have a mouse. I just don't have control.
We're still going up there.
Yeah, we're still going. All right. So moving on to the magic sale. So Paizo. So if you didn't get enough Pathfinder with the that humble bundle, you want to try out Pathfinder, that hugely successful. I think it was the most successful humble bundle ever. Was that during that kind of OGL nonsense, the Paizo, like here's everything for second edition that you would ever want to play. Paizo is doing a magic sale, and they're calling it a magic sale. Enjoy a legendary 50% off select print and digital items, mix and match from Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Pathfinder 1st Edition, and Starfinder.
Ooh, okay.
So it's PDFs, accessories, maps, pawns, and minis. And this is a deal that they usually give to only their subscribers, so people that receive things regularly. You will get a complimentary PDF of anything you buy, physical, or a buy one, get one free PDF, basically. So you get a free PDF with a PDF. That's how I'm reading it. Maybe I'm wrong. Their lawyers can tell me I'm wrong. But from now until April 4th, they'll have this 50% off sale. And this is a really good chance to pick up a lot of their accessories. Like Paizo does a really good job with their pawns. If you don't want to do miniatures and things, they have every character and every NPC and baddie and stuff that you would need for your campaign as pawns. So they're very hard or very thick card standees that have the great character art.
Hey, I think we restarted.
What's going on? Hey, there we go. I'm still using my phone though.
All right.
And so that so there's a lot to look for. So if you have gotten into Pathfinder digitally, now's your chance to pick up some of those physical books. And like I mentioned, they also on their store have the dented and dinged discount as well. So I'm not sure if that stacks with this, but that's a nice way also to get books that if you know you're going to beat them up at the table, get them cheaper.
But I'm thinking how you would dent and ding a PDF.
It's hard. All right, and one more kind of bundle type thing that's going on is speaking of the Paizo Humble bundle, a 40K RPG bundle. So this will be the Dark Heresy, Black Crusade, and Only War that Fantasy Flight originally produced for them. So these are D100 systems. So this is basically everything, I think almost everything that was produced. The frustrating thing is on the low pledge, the $1 pledge, it's not the core books. It's just kind of random adventures.
$1. right?
So you have to do the full set, which is I think 18.
Oh well.
18 or 25 to get the core books, but it's basically also everything that they've done for these systems. And so these are all rebranded Cubicle 7 because now Cubicle 7 has the Warhammer license. But I really wish that that would also include like print on demand or something. I'd really like them because the old Fantasy Flight published books are now super expensive on any of those old, the Rogue Trader, even Black Crusade or Dark Heresy. Those physical books are so expensive now, and if they could just do a print on demand, it would make it easier to have physical books at the table if they own those rights. But maybe the license doesn't include that; it only includes digital. But the other interesting thing, so there's a link to this bundle in the description, and one thing that this gives you. So even if you pledge $1, everyone gets a first month for $2.99 of Warhammer Plus. So if you want to see what 2 years of producing their own membership subscription based animation thing has produced, but what Games Workshop has produced in 2 years, it's almost nothing. So you could spend $2.99 to just laugh at. Are you guys serious? You basically corralled all these artists. You basically
I think that's a bad use of $2.99.
you captured them, had them sign NDAs and exclusivity contracts or whatever, and just got all of their stuff off of Patreon, off of YouTube for this. Like if you really want to see behind the behind the paywall of Warhammer Plus, $2.99 will get you there.
I kind of have to wonder if that wasn't their goal.
Oh yeah, no, I think it was, and it was basically because I don't know if anyone is actually still developing anything for them, because what they're releasing now on Warhammer Plus, it looks like it's the same studio that does their promotion trailers for the games, for the.
You're talking like the 3D CGI stuff.
Right. Yeah, so it's really weird what they're doing, but this bundle does go to support children's health in Ireland, and. So this is all the Cubicle 7, all branded Cubicle 7 PDFs that you can read anywhere. They're not DRM or anything. But this is also, so Cubicle 7 did just announce as well the pre-order for their Imperium Maledictum. So I was looking at the rules for this, the little preview for this, and I can't figure out what the difference is between this and Wrath and Glory, because it's, I guess you don't start as powerful. You're starting more low level, but it seems very similar because they kind of sequester you in this like little part of the 40K, universe, and it has its own theming and everything, and doesn't let you into the wider storyline or interact with.
Well, because the storyline, like we can't have up the storyline, right?
Right. So I'm not sure exactly what they're doing with this. I want to see. I didn't go too far into it, but the roles that you're playing and the kind of factions you're playing, it's very similar to Wrath and Glory. So maybe it's just because Wrath and Glory wasn't their system and they wanted to develop something. So this may be more like Warhammer Fantasy, where you start lowly and can work your way
You
up.
have rats stapled to your belt, and
just
small vicious dog.
right, and have more 40K theming. But for right now, I can't quite tell. So up for this pre-order, the physical books aren't out yet, but you can get the PDF right now. Cool. And there's a pre-order for the books, GM screens, some dice trays, and also like a special limited edition kind of crazy Cubicle 7 version of things with some foil stamping and all that good stuff. But yeah, so that was all involved with that. Yeah, so the bundle just reminded me of Cubicle 7, and then they were saying, hey,
here's our new game. Yeah,
here's our new game.
So the current bundle gets you what? Black Crusade,
Only War, and Dark Heresy.
So kind
Inquisitors.
Inquisitors, Chaos, and Astra Militarum.
Right.
AKA Imperial Guard, right?
Yes.
I wonder about those games. Like,
oh, yeah.
Okay, Inquisitor, I kind of get. Right?
Yeah,
or
that
it
was
seems
popular even from first edition,
right?
yeah.
Because Inquisitor, like Warband, you'd largely have a lot of leeway and just goals and stuff to meet, right? But Only War, I mean,
yeah.
What are you playing?
You just have to keep rolling up new characters.
Exactly, like, I don't know, unless you're like. Unless you're like the fucking A team, right? Of like the Astra Militarum, I don't really see how a game like that
I wonder
work.
if they do that. If you're like Gaunt's Ghosts or whatever, you're like very specialized group that have because everyone would have to be some hyper skilled veteran, or else you're just getting wiped out. Roll another grunt. You just have a button you push and it just generates a
grunt. Yeah.
No, I wonder, and it seems though that how they developed these RPGs was similar to what they did with the Star Wars IP, where they built one system and they just kind of kept adding. Okay, and now you would play in this part of the world, and they play in this part of the world, and
you want superpower or Jedi? Sorry, superpowers. I'm a wizard. You want Jedi powers or like psychic powers or all this stuff? Yeah.
So they're compatible. Like the systems are all compatible, but the settings and characters can't really be, I don't think.
Or the things you would do,
yeah. So that's what I think the Imperial Maledictum, I think that's what the difficulty that they're going to have as well is, you have to start everybody, all your psychers and everybody at this very low level so that they can, kind of level up together and actually exist in this world. Because
here's an idea, game designers: drop fucking class and level.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There are any other systems you can use, right? You don't have to start out like, okay, I don't know. For some games, right? Yeah, that heroic progression is kind of fun, right? But especially in like D&D, people are like, oh, why don't we start at 5th? Like, why are you starting at, okay.
Yeah.
Right? If there is a point in your game where enough people go, oh, here's where things get good, start the game and there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that was an interesting thing. I think when we were playing Pathfinder, that we started leveled up a little bit, and none of us knew the system very well. And it's just like progression in PC games. You do need to learn how to play your character. Yeah. You need to kill some rats or something and figure out, I kind of have to chain these things together, or this is how I'm useful in combat.
Yeah.
Because when you jump up and you're picking abilities, you're like, I don't know. And you
Maybe this will work.
Yeah. And it's when you don't actually have experience at the table, knowing how these feats or skills or anything is going to work, that is a little frustrating. Because like, I've got this now, I have a useful 5th level character, and it should have been I would have.
For games with any kind of game with a complexity like that, kind of like a couple levels or a period where like just learning the system, that is important. And if you're learning the system while playing the game, right, it's like tutorial mode, right? I have no problem against that. Like it's like you said, it's useful and it helps you kind of make informed decisions about how your character should be built. And I hate that, how your character should be built, how you can build your character to have like an effective character that does what you want it to do, right? And feels like you're pulling your weight. But for other things like that kind of promise, we're setting you in this like epic, and now go kill some rats, right? It's like, no, just make the game. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see. But if you had any interest in those old Warhammer, rebranded Warhammer, and I really wish there was some ability to get those physical books, because at least that's what I really liked doing with the Enemy Within, is using the new Cubicle 7 versions of those to actually put the old Rules Light system on it. So I think there's probably good stuff in the setting and stuff you could use for a Rules Light system to do adventures and campaigns. So.
Yeah, like when I was trying to when I was trying to come up with some kind of like adventure thing for that Cortex Prime Power Deathwatch thing, like the old Deathwatch, like Ulysses Spiel and Cubicle 7 Deathwatch books were like fantastic reference. I would never run that system in my life, right? Like, I remember like trying to like stat up some like Tyranid stuff. I'm just like, oh man, this is just a fucking page of special abilities.
Oh yeah,
half of which you got to reference another part of the book. I'm like, is this fun? is this fun? Because this is not fun for me. Like knowing all this stuff and how it works is kind of useful for building this thing. This is not fun. Well, hold on, okay, let's count squares. And it had this death blow ability. No, I don't want to deal with that bullshit. Right? Just make it an aspect. Right.
Yeah. So $743 worth of books. Yeah, if you actually bought these, and that would have to be the physical price because that's expensive for PDFs. But that's all available. So good inspiration, and they did a lot of work. I still think that is a little bit odd though. So all the work that all the designers and writers and everything did when they were doing this for Fantasy Flight, or maybe even before that for the Black
Library,
whatever it was the Industries or whatever it was called when they were doing the previous versions. And now it just kind of transfers over. So now just Cubicle 7 has it and they can print your work. And then now this other company has it and they can just print your work. It's funny that it's just this weirdly transferable thing and it doesn't like
that's what kind of being like a freelancer is. Like we'll pay you for producing the work.
It goes forever.
Ours.
Right. But I guess it's good that it's still alive too. Yeah. That's the good thing about it, is that this is still existing. And you can get it when they put it in these bundles, you get it for a ridiculously cheap price.
Sure. Plus the freelancers can say my work still exists, right? Like it's still in print, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, so that is going to do it. Yeah, we were talking a little bit before the cast. Yeah, so 10th edition is out. So I don't know. Yeah, just super expensive, Space Hulk. That's awesome. I'm so glad that they decided to do that. Yeah, you've got there's Space Hulk is up there.
Over there, yeah. The moment that was, I liked those nice thick.
They're
tiles.
Really glossy. Yeah, glossy.
Those were great.
Yeah,
didn't like the fact that some of the Gene Stealers had 4 fucking arms. Sorry, not 4. Three arms. Come on, GW. Like, you are a miniature company, and you produce Gene Stealers with 3 arms. It's like this weird AI generated, like the elbow goes this way, and then the hand just disappears. Like, what the fuck? Like, that was no.
Yeah, but think though, with this new edition and the new miniatures, that if you wanted to recreate Space Hulk, how much it would actually cost if you bought their plastic terrain, the characters, if you did Blood Angels and you did all of the character models and Terminators and then all of the Gene Stealers, it would be insanely expensive. And I think that's what they're basically doing. They're not going to do another version of Space Hulk, but you can still recreate that with their boarding party rules. But it's just going to be an insane version.
Speaking of insanely expensive, ridiculously expensive, back in 2005, when I first came over to Japan, like some of my luggage was plastic card supplies stuff with like the old like fluorescent light grading stuff. I found out that was great for floor tiling. Then you layer like the plant soil mesh like on top of it, and you have like hull grading. My plan was to make 3D Space Hulk terrain. I got about like 2 pieces in it. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And like that was expensive. So that's a great game. Dream is to have like a full 3D thing. I don't know where the fuck I'd put it, right? I think I've kind of given up. It was all going to be like magnetized, so it clipped together. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, expensive is the word here. Yeah.
Right. Wow. That's very cool. Yeah, I think that's a weird thing that GW is like taking away any motivation or for many new people to this hobby to DIY stuff, to make your own boards, to make your own, because that's like, no, but we'll just
that's why you play like Necromunda,
right,
or any of these other things like Stargrave or Planet 28 or any of the other 28 things, like with their like Grimdark 28 stuff. Like go look on Instagram for basically anything that ends in 28, and you'll see some amazing kit bashed stuff. Right. That's just like, that is what the Imperium is supposed to look like.
Right. And that's what the hobby is supposed to be.
The hobby is supposed to be. It's not GW rules. You're just kind of like, what the fuck is that? I don't know, bro. But
coming at you.
Yep, it's coming at you. Yeah. It's got a whole bunch of skulls on it and chains, and it's just kind of like oozing blood into the, I don't know. Yeah, go if you want. I think that's what it is now, right? And this will be the last thing, right? Like, if you're a 40K player, I tend to think, okay, apart from people who like the lore and painting models, like, you're going to be kind of like a tournament player.
Yeah.
if you're going to be like the DIY thing, like I can't imagine kit bashing GW models because like they're so expensive, right? But like you can, like your bits and bobs that you have left over, you can make something and then use one of those, any kind of 28 rules to kind of play a version of it. And I think that's kind of where the two groups are now. Yeah, definitely. I think it's separate, and that's too bad because I think like orc players and things, that's the kit bashing was a big part of why they enjoyed that army, and now they're trying to take that away. Well, now they're giving you all the like scrap jets and big stomp mechs, and it's like as an orc player, you'd be just like, I'm gonna build my shit out of a cereal box and this old plant pot, right? Like that's my mech, and like it totally looks like it would, it fits, right? And you'd be like, oh, no, you're gonna have to buy kits now, bro.
Gotta get you in there. So we'll see how 10th edition goes off, but I'm not this is the least interested I've been in 40k in so long. I don't know why. I just like totally it took 3 editions for me to just be like whatever.
Done.
All right, so where can people find you?
On Twitter, as always, where I'm cranking out more half thought out, never finished pixel art related games.
Excellent.
Oh, sorry, that's Hivemind. HYVEMYND, where Instagram is the same. Yep.
Nice.
Cool. How about you?
Nice. And I'm still doing, even though sometimes it crashes, a live stream for drawing my single panel gag cartoon, Domestic Abuse. So Abuse cartoons on YouTube and Twitch. And if you want to read the archive, it's gocomics.com/domesticabuse. And that's like 20 years of that cartoon. Wow. So go ahead and dive in.
Like almost 7 editions by GW standards.
Yeah, right.
Every 3 years.
It would have been. Yeah, and we're to this point now. So on the live stream, also I go back through the archives and kind of look at comments and read the old look at the old archives, and it's changed a lot. Like the art style has gotten a bit more refined, but people have finally started discovering it in this timeline. Like it was about 2009, and it's just vicious, like the grammar Nazis, and it's just so funny. Once you get a little bit of popularity, the comment sections get a little crazy.
Well, that just means you're doing well.
Yeah, right. Once the fighting starts. All right, and if you like what we're doing with the weekly, please consider supporting us by becoming a weekling.
With 2 E's.
Yes, that's patreon.com/upturntable and upturntable.com for everything that we're doing. We just released the epilogue for the actual play of Case File 1 for the Blade Runner RPG. Ooh, nice. And I'd like to one more time thank Stefan J gave us a $20 super thanks for posting the epilogue, and thank you very much. And I'm glad that it's been inspirational, or at least enjoyable to listen to, because it's a bit of a it's a work. It's a bit of a work to actually produce, to edit it and get it all cleaned up. But the final product, I think people are enjoying. So nice. I'm glad to be getting some positive feedback on that. And so Upturn Table on all social media, and that'll do it for this week.
Yeah, cool.
So we'll be back again next week. See you next time.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. All right, let's hope we're still we're still in this. We're still running. Yeah, it looks like all right.
scars on my flesh and blood. All hell, the broken city rules all that he could have been. Now he stands up to his name. All the time, but not too late.
All right. So how's everybody doing? See if I can get the the chat up. Well, thanks Abyss for the gifting the subscriptions at the beginning, or the memberships. Sorry, the memberships at the beginning there. Good to see everybody in chat. Miguel, Abyss, K5, yeah, and thanks for the heads up. Yeah, K5 about Hyphonics. That's very cool. And Orcus, hey, how's it going? Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, Orcus mentioned the Cubicle 7 Humble Bundle. Yeah, that's the nice thing about Humble Bundles. You can slide. Well, it's Cubicle 7 though. They've paid the license already, so GW is not getting any money. But you can slide the donation to change the who gets what. But yeah, it's going to Cubicle 7. Nice. Yeah, so that is very interesting that they keep they just keep rebranding and turning over those Warhammer, and it should, I don't know, I think at some point all of them probably need new editions. I think because Dark Heresy was 2nd edition, but I think all of those original Warhammer RPGs could use some refreshing. Yeah, it's very funny. Oh yeah, the Maladum, yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I like the terrain for that, the battle systems terrain. And it was interesting, they had kind of 2 pledges, a terrain pledge or a rules and less terrain pledge, so you could do both and get a table full, like a 4x4 table full of terrain. It looked really good. Although, they know how to photograph, because it's card. It's that battle system, so it's like slotted card. I don't know if it's plastic card or actual cardboard or like MDF, but it slots, and so you can photograph it because it's got graphics on it, but it is flat, and like kind of delicate details and stuff can't be recreated that well. They can be printed on a surface, but not created that well. Nice. But yeah, that looked good. BRP and Orc, officially called Bork. Nice. Oh yeah, Orcus, yeah. Orcus mentioned the Rogue Trader. Yeah, I like that. I don't know about the the rule system like Chris was saying, but like a more rules like the creators of Warlock also do a sci-fi setting that is basically Rogue Trader. It's basically like a more 40K based sci-fi, kind of grim dark sci-fi. So that system might work well for doing a rules like Rogue Trader. But I like the setting of Rogue Trader. I like the like from some of the novels and stuff. I like how that works. Kind of a spoiled rich kid, running a ship into into the far reaches of the Imperium and getting into all kinds of nonsense. Oh yeah. Orcus agreed. Yeah, the Paizo pawns are really good. So if you don't want to get into miniatures and figure out how to store a ton of miniatures, the I think it's a couple of sets of the pawns fit into just the little sectioned plastic cases really easily. So you have everything, and you can sort them so that during play you can easily pull stuff up for random encounters and stuff. Nice. Matt is saying, Jeremy, I was thinking about The Walking Dead. Walking Dead. I keep thinking of how it could mod it into something else. Yeah, talk me out of it. Well, if you back it, Matt, I'll play, but I can't back it. I can't. I was just watching though. Someone watched the entire Walking Dead series. They and the funny thing is, the reason I watched the video is because the guy dropped off exactly when I dropped off. As soon as Negan is like hitting everybody with the bat, I'm like, okay, this is nonsense. We're done with this. There's no zombies involved anymore. And also the budget, of the show and everything was weird. So I checked out when he did and checked back in periodically and just still hated it. But so this guy watched the whole entire run of the show, but then filled people in on so there were like character deaths and stuff that weren't actually character deaths, because they're basically doing 3 spin-off series. So they already did Fear of the Walking Dead. I'm not sure. I think they finished that as well. But Walking Dead is actually getting 3 spin-off series. So that's what I think Free League was referring to when they were talking about this as still a very active property. So the sheriff and Michonne are getting their own series. Negan and the Korean guy's girlfriend are getting their own series, and I forget what the third one is. Who knows what the third one is? But they're just spinning off characters. They're like taking the relationships that developed into something like unique, or just the couples. I guess couples are getting their spin-offs, and they're trying to do different parts. And they might even be doing like a prequel or something. But is there really material to do that? And it looks like the show itself did some kind of weird stuff. They tried to do some weird stuff, but then when the pandemic hit, they did a run of pretty lousy episodes. Instead of using that restriction and using like a low number of actors and like one space to make an interesting kind of bottle episode, they didn't do that, and they just did really stupid things. And so they wasted that opportunity for the writers to kind of, step up and do some interesting writing. But they I forget what they're called, but they added some weird factions that are like humans that are somehow having some sort of they're like wearing zombie skin or whatever. So there's like weird factions that came out of this. So I think that's going to continue in some of the spin-offs. But yeah, they're relentless with that thing. Hey, Abyss is now a member. Thank you, Abyss. How did that happen? All right. Yeah, thanks for gifting those memberships, Abyss. That's very cool. Yeah, but I think that system's going to be good, because from that live stream, it sounds like it's going to be, kind of survival mode, not too heavy, not Twilight 2000 heavy mechanically, with a panic mechanic, with with panic dice. So I don't think you're rolling gear dice, but you are going to be rolling panic dice, and that works really well with that session, that one shot that we had with Alien just recently. That's really fun. I mean, that because I like the idea that the panic dice make you more capable, but also make bad rolls really bad. Like you're constantly rolling on a panic chart that eventually makes you eventually can be catatonic. So nice. Yeah, so that's funny. I'm curious to see what happens. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Pathfinder did. Yeah, the Kingmaker games. Yeah, that was funny. I remember when the first PC, like the Pathfinder IP PC game came out. I think a lot of people that didn't know what to expect were shocked because it's using the actual rule set. It's it's powered by the actual rule set of Pathfinder, and they were freaked out by how easily your characters can be killed if you do kind of stupid things with the characters, with party members in the campaign. And so they learned the deadliness of 3.5. Maybe they had no idea, but that was something that kept coming up in rules, in reviews, is how the game system's pretty brutal. Small but vicious dog. Don't leave outdoors without it. Nice. Some Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah. So, and that's the thing. I couldn't figure out what Cubicle 7 is doing with that new 40K. Initially, I felt that that's what it was. Is kind of a Warhammer Fantasy where you start out as just nothings in the Imperium and kind of, at that level, kind of stumble into all of the mysteries and weird dynamics and things in the 40K world. But like Chris said, when that came up, it's like, it's so deadly that can you really play very low level characters and expect to survive anything with Space Marines and chaos lurking about? I don't know how they're gonna power that. So Matt was saying the different Star Wars books meshed pretty well. The narrative dice system was exhausting. The kind of fortune telling of the what do all the symbols mean? And it's funny, for the Genesis dice and the Star Wars dice, it's the same system, but the symbols are different. And if you don't kind of get what they're doing with their symbol language, it's hard to, is this positive? This looks bad. This looks very sharp, but I guess it's a good thing. Interesting. And so I think that's kind of what they tried to do. Fantasy Flight did with the 40K games too, but it doesn't bolt on as well. So do the 40K RPGs use the advantage system, the Warhammer 4th edition? It's a little bit, I don't think they do. I think it's a pretty old system. It's I think it's closer to kind of basic role play with fumbles. Like there's fumble tables, and I'm not sure if it has that advantage built in. The Black Library does. Black Industry layouts for those books were horrible. It's enormous. A page flipping, bookmarking, index referencing. Interesting. Interesting point. Orcus. Miguel, sorry. That's right. I was gonna. It just launched. I think I just got the notification like last night or today. We'll talk about BattleTech next week. But the BattleTech Kickstarter launched as well. So their 5th box set for Catalyst Labs version of BattleTech. So new miniatures and a lot of stuff. I can't believe how much stuff they put into their campaigns, and all the little badges and challenge coins and pins, and there's a ton of add-ons, and they're even doing, like, I guess it gives them an excuse because it's a big infusion of cash, and the bigger that it gets, it lets them unlock like more neoprene mats and all kinds of stuff for the setting. Oh no! Next week, Miko. I promise. Next week. Don't unsub. But that just that just launched. So we'll talk BattleTech next week while they're in the midst of it. Although I'm sure they would love that early campaign boost. A lot of I wonder what that is. I wonder if it if you have that first day, like how so many people post funded in 2 hours, funded in 8 hours, funded in 1 day. I wonder if there's something that helps findability on Kickstarter, or some way that they promote you better if you fund faster, because there's such a huge push. Or maybe it's just the dynamics of crowdfunding. If there's not a huge spike at the beginning, then it may plateau faster or something. Because I can't believe in every company that is doing a Kickstarter, they're always hitting you up, and they'll do a first day, like in the first 24 hours they'll do some bonus thing. So there must be some necessity to get the people that they know are going to pledge anyhow in. And I, even if it's something I know I'm going to pledge, usually wait just to see, just in case, so I don't pledge something that I have to cancel because it didn't fund or it fell apart. But I wonder what that is, and I wonder if they're just trying to fight that reluctance, like the thinking that I have. They're just trying to counteract that by getting you in and committed. So I don't know. It's very funny. And then also then there comes that push. Well, yeah, add your shipping in already. Like, just add extra money because we want the total to be as big as possible. So yeah, still all that crowdfunding is a mystery. Abyss says, I support your efforts in burning it all down. Nice. Nice. Matt was saying, playing that again this weekend. Just painted up. Oh, nice. A bunch of heavy troopers. Oh, for Stargrave? Oh, nice. Excellent. Yeah, I'm curious how it goes. Yeah, and if you're starting to like the system, I think the more I played Frostgrave, the more I enjoyed it. And especially, too, as the more your my gang leveled, they felt more capable and it was more fun to come up with strategies. Because the first couple of games, you just are trying to figure things out and you don't quite know how you want things to run. Nice. All right. Oh, nice. Yeah, some BattleTech talk. Yeah, so we'll see. Oh yeah, there's a lot. There's vehicles. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff included. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Matt said Heroscape tiles were great for BattleTech. Oh, right. It's almost the same scale, isn't it? The hex. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, Abyss is saying, Jeremy, where can I email you? Oh, the Elric. Oh, that's right. So the channel email is upturntabletop, TOP at the end, at gmail.com. It's probably the best way to email. That's the Gmail for this, for the YouTube and everything. But Upturned Table wasn't available. Somebody has that. So upturntabletop at gmail is the best way to, if you want to send any email to us. Nice. Oh yeah, and Orcus was asking, is the English translation the recent French Elric? Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that was. So it's the first time in English, and they kind of tacked it on to a board game Kickstarter campaign, which I don't think did it fund. I forget what I think there was something about, maybe the board game didn't fund or didn't fund well enough, but they did do the PDFs. They did send the PDFs. So nice. Yeah, and so you could. That was the funny thing. They're doing this board game, and then they do an English translation of the RPG, and then they say, "Well, you could just pledge for the PDF if you want. If you aren't interested in this board game, but like this character, like this setting." Nice. Yeah, very good. We go. Yeah, we got to do some. Yeah, we'll go over the whole campaign. It's crazy how much Catalyst does for each of these big campaigns. Orcus is saying a friend from the UK is supposed to be sending me a copy. Lending me a copy. It's PDFs. They're digital. They don't have any value. They can't. Even though they make us pay for them, once they exist in the wild. Oh yeah, definitely Abyss. Yeah, if you want, we can. If you want to share with us, we can help with what you paid for them. Definitely don't want you to to foot the bill for us reading the Elric RPG. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to actually publish a physical book. Elric is Matt's spirit animal. An anemic albino elf. Nice. There. And if you want to email Matt, there's Matt's Gmail. Nice. Yeah, definitely talking about BattleTech next week, but just old. That's right. We'll ignore the Kickstarter and just talk original BattleTech. Oh wow, 3.39 million. That's crazy. Yeah, it's really, they did a really good job of resurrecting that. And I always worried because the rights to BattleTech were so strange, like Topps got them from FASA, and then Catalyst is licensing them from Topps, the baseball card company. So I was always worried that it wouldn't be handled well, but yeah, they're doing a good job. Wow. Nice. Yeah, I got to read up on my BattleTech lore. I don't know. I barely know the references you guys are making. Yeah, that was the thing once people got... I forget what it was that was the tipping point for... oh, no, it was the Warhammer Plus thing. And when they went after the animators and stuff, but people were like, screw 40K, and we're looking for alternatives. And then the BattleTech subreddits and boards and stuff got really busy with people new to the game and new to the setting, because I don't think a lot of people realized how much lore there was for the setting. And it's been around, longer than 40K. It has a pretty and also they have, I think that's the big difference. And people that try to build worlds or try to have significant lore, if you don't have like talented writers writing fiction for that setting and actually immersing people, if you just kind of do a half-ass, like the occasional book, which is basically amateur fan fiction that you published for to kind of support games. There's a couple of settings like I think Mantic needs help in that department. There's a couple of companies that if they just gave some more care to their setting and had some talented people writing for them, because that's the huge thing. I think the huge advantage that Games Workshop has, that I think has even helped them redeem that weird Age of Sigmar break that they did, is they've got writers trying to make sense of that world and fleshing things out a little bit, because initially it didn't make a hell of a lot of sense. Nice. Excellent. So Mercenaries is adding yet another, or I guess it's adding yet another kind of faction, and other mechs and things to BattleTech. I'll read up before next week, and I'm sure in the in the chat you guys will help out. Nice. Yeah, that's a good point, Orcus. Yeah, not everyone has a Greg Stafford that has so much has so much interest in building and world building and creating. That's really true, and it's so apparent when they half-ass that. I mean, if you have good artists and sculptors making miniatures and good game designers, but are missing that element of immersive kind of world building, then it does make a difference, and I think it does kind of separate a lot of games up. But like we were saying though, with all of the kind of miniatures agnostic games and stuff, the world building, like having your game group or whatever doing the world building and doing that as you're hobbying, like kind of creating your factions and creating the world as you're building terrain and building your miniatures, that's good too. And I guess that's probably what a lot of the companies are relying on, is just inspiring enough from their rule set and their designs, inspiring enough for people to take it from there. But then why am I paying you? Why am I paying for these miniatures? Yeah, that's very true. Wow. Yeah, sorry, Miguel. This was an angry cast for Miguel. Not enough BattleTech. Yeah, you got to be, with all the hype from the campaign, you got to be enjoying it. There's so much stuff going on, and they did a like a 4-inch, not a non-miniature, but they're doing like a large casting of a miniature kind of a promotion, so some of the pledge levels just automatically include a giant miniature, but just showing off the stuff they did. Oh, what's that? What's the article that Matt posted? Oh, cool. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'll take a look at this for next week, Matt. That looks cool. Some gritty blood and guts fantasy. All right, so there was aside from the I think BattleTech was the only thing that I and anything that, like, especially Kickstarters, if it's running for a little bit longer, since I don't mention just a litany of Kickstarters every week, I sometimes wait until it's developed, and sometimes too that gives a lot of if drama develops, that makes it can make it a little more interesting, or if it looks like it's going to fail, that's a little bit more fun to talk about, to figure out what happened or what's actually going on. Oh, and damn, yeah, because I was so happy with the nice comments on the Blade Runner, I forgot to do the Kyle Brink watch. I keep forgetting I had a joke for Kyle Brink, but it'll keep. Yeah, that was a thing. You guys saw the list of influencers, I guess you'd call them, the weird range. I think that chose 4 YouTubers or podcasters, YouTubers, whatever, to go to Wizards to have their little meeting of the minds or whatever. But it was a really big range, like people that had hundreds of thousands of subscriptions down to people that weren't even monetized on their channels yet. And I hope that bites Wizards in the ass, because the guys that have nothing to lose, unless they're really starstruck by having access to Dungeons and Dragons, they might really be critical. And I think, because we even kind of heard that in that patronizing the 3 Black Halflings interview, the one thing that they did was they seemed to be the little hardest on Kyle in the interview. So bringing them to Wizards of the Coast, and they're probably signing NDAs. Yeah, they're probably signing NDAs, so never mind. But if they really do feel like they have nothing to lose, that would be and don't care if they break an NDA, that might be cool to see the couple of small channels. So it's like 4 or 5 channels, and they got pretty tiny. They weren't the biggest ones. It was that Bob World Builder. I can't think of anybody's name, but it was, they're decent sized channels, but then they got to very small, and just the people that they agreed to talk to. So we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, of course they're signing NDAs, so it's not going to there'll be minimal drama. And they of course avoided bringing anybody that they felt might be trouble into the offices. Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, working on a drop ship. Oh, in the live stream. Oh, yeah, I gotta watch the supporting stuff they're doing for the BattleTech campaign. I gotta say, the best primer for minis unrivaled has to be GW's black primer. Oh, yeah, I tested out 4 different primers this week and trying out something else. But man, they all suck. Oh, interesting. Yeah, my biggest frustration with that Chaos Black or whatever I forget what they called it, but their spray, is it doesn't match their standard black. Like you prime it, but you can't use the primer black as the base. You have to repaint the entire miniature with their black to make it match. When I was doing the Death Watch, that was frustrating. I thought those blacks, they don't match at all. So they should put the primer black in a bottle so you can paint it on to cover up mistakes or to repaint parts of it. That was very frustrating. You have to repaint again, you black and then black again, and then you can start painting when you're doing like black armor and stuff. Nice. Yeah, there hasn't been. Yeah, I think Matt's right. Matt says feels like all the fun drama has cooled off. Yeah, there hasn't, especially like OGL and Wizard stuff. It seems like, and people kind of suspected that they dodged the bullet, and things are going to cool off just in time for the movie. Yeah. So, and people that have done early reviews and talked about the movie, everything's been positive so far for early screenings of the D&D movie. So that's exactly what Wizards wanted. They wanted, to get this over with, get the bad part over with before their movie came out. So it didn't, so because if OGL stuff would be happening now, there would definitely be a much more active boycott the movie movement going on right now. But people are like, wait, what were we going to boycott? I forget. It can't be Chris Pine. We can't boycott a Chris Pine movie. Yeah. AK's primer and Army Painter primer, and the other two others, but not even, they don't even come close. Interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think they reformulated that too, but I had bad luck with the white primer from Games Workshop. But yeah, the Chaos Black, I forget what it's called. That's always been decent, but just so damn expensive. Yeah, it would be nice if there was a cheaper alternative, but obviously they must be, their formula is decent, and they probably know it. Nice. Matt says need old TSR to like stage sit in with WotC or something. Yeah, right. Yeah, we need. I can't believe how much goofy new TSR drama there was. Previous primers. Yeah, that's interesting because I was hoping, because the only stuff we really have access to here that isn't really expensive in Japan, that isn't expensive to get, we can get Vallejo and then Games Workshop or the Citadel primers, but anything else is really expensive to get here, and sometimes they won't even send it because it's aerosol cans and stuff. There's some limitations, I guess, to shipping because it can be hazardous or not handle altitude or whatever. Yeah. There was a YouTuber that was talking about they were kind of going through the people that were invited, because I think there was a they're the sellouts, the traders or whatever. But I think it's basically they chose the people that they had the best experience with Kyle doing his little apology promotion tour, whatever that was, the Mea Culpa. And but it's pretty small. I was surprised how few it was, like only 4 or 5 influencers, and the range was pretty huge too. And the sad thing was, they showed views versus subs, and the 3 Black Halflings got a huge bump in views for that interview, but it didn't translate into subscriptions to the channel. So people just watched that video just to see, Kyle pander. They should just do pander clips of Kyle. Keep those views up. Oh yeah, Miguel saying that prior GW White was really not really white. Yeah, that's and even the always Citadel whites, I've not had good experiences with their white paint in any case. Abyss is saying GW is knows not to allow you to cheapen out by cheating one of their paints out to force you to buy them. Yeah, they're real blacks and whites. Yeah, 2,700 yen for one can of primer. That doesn't really go that far. I think I over prime a bit, but it doesn't really go very far. Yeah, so about $20 US. Yeah, you have to use a Wrathbone on top of their Chaos Black. Ooh, $30. Wow. Yeah, for a priming job. Yeah, the Wrathbone, that's what I'm using for the Oathmark. I'm priming everything. So it kind of keep it the same palette, because I was going to do the Goblins black and keep the Dwarves in the Wrathbone's kind of off-white. And it's kind of made for the contrast paints. So it shows off it works well with the contrast paints and kind of grabs everything. It's got a good texture, so it grabs everything pretty well. But yeah, the results are really nice. But I just did everything Wrathbone, so the army looks a little bit more unified, because I was worried, even though it is a mixed army, it's going to be goblins and dwarves, having them be a similar palette I think works. Yeah, that's crazy. The prices for stuff here is ridiculous, and it's interesting because the only kind of domestic company we have is Tamiya. Or I guess there's a couple, but they don't offer. Tamiya has a totally different quality for stuff. Oh, did you guys see? I think when I was talking about this, but I've seen several now people saying that the was it the Mr. Hobby or whatever? So the ultra thin, or it's Tamiya, the ultra thin cement for plastic, and their airbrush cleaner are chemically identical, but they come in very different bottles and very different price. So you get a big plastic bottle of the airbrush cleaner. It's basically just acetone and something else, like 50% acetone, 50% something else, but it's the same thing that they're calling their thin glue, which is really good for like getting into seams and things to put together plastic. Maybe this has been known forever, but it just popped up on YouTube and several people were saying it's identical. So if you just want to buy that as a refill for your for your ultra thin cement bottles, it works well. So I have to try that, because I definitely know that price difference. It's such a small amount of cement, and if you don't get it sealed well, it does evaporate pretty easily. So obviously it's acetone. But yeah, that was a good trick. I have to make sure that works, because that'll save a lot for glue and assembly. Nice. Yeah, interesting. I haven't tried. I have I think it's just a can of gray of Vallejo primer, but I haven't tried it yet. I've only tried the Army Painter and Citadel Games Workshop. Oh, hey Orcus. Okay, gotta go remind the kids it's a school night. So good night, Orcus. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. All right. Yeah, very cool. Oh, that's right. No, I would never prime goblins black. I would never prime any greenskins black, because we know, of course, Tolkien wrote them as just so crazy. Yeah. So I do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's any better, but yeah. So I like the gray skin. Like I like when we did the arcane wizard shooting game, the arcane skirmish game, arcane 28 something, arcane battles something 28. I did some 3D printed orcs, like a greenish gray skin, and that worked really well. So I think I'm gonna do all my goblins that kind of like funky gray skin. They they look cool, but so like I think it's just the Templar gray, or that's Templar black. It's the contrast paint. They're contrast gray with a little bit of green wash in kind of the dark areas, and it looks pretty cool. It does good goblin skin. But yeah, I wanted to differentiate the factions, but realized like as an overall, maybe the army would look better. The same tones. Yes, it's crazy how you can just stumble into all those traps. Nice. Oh, Abyss is going to try something. Yeah, that's funny. And the yeah, since everything was contrast paint too, I didn't think going up from black primer it was going to look too different as far as a paint style. But yeah. So we're up to what, day 45 since Kyle Brink said he was going to resign. I gotta keep updating that every week, and I keep forgetting to say it. Nice. All right. Yeah, Army Painter Holy White Speed Paint is really gray. But it would be good for them. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I really want to try the I guess they did a 2.0. Oh, wait, did I miss something? I'll try a Army Painter 2.0. Let me bring up Streamlabs just in case something comes up. Did I miss a notification here? Yeah, I don't know why Chrome is so lousy. I guess I should just restart, like before the streams, I should just restart Chrome and make sure it's all cached out. Oh, there we go. You did. It did. It's been a month. Oh, wait. Did it go? It worked. I think it worked. Abyss, wait. So Abyss has been a member for 8 months in a row. Nice. All right. Wait, no, I don't see anything. Thanks Abyss so much for the for gifting those memberships. That's very cool. Yeah, I got to get YouTube membership and Patreon stuff working. Nice. yeah, I got to yeah, 8 months of Matt Modden. Oh, I didn't see. Yeah, I just saw the notification. Let me see. I just saw the notification of the 8 month. I don't think it went through. Abyss, you crazy person. No, that we do have 2000. 2,400 something to 2,406 or something 5. It keeps like weirdly fluctuating. It's funny. I'm not sure what exactly YouTube does, but memberships like never go up steadily. Or subscriptions, they go up and then they come down like 10 and then they sit and then they jump back up. So I think there's like a weird, they might have some weird vetting or something that YouTube subscribers do, maybe to counteract however people are doing the paid, like if you pay for subs or pay for views or whatever, maybe they're YouTube is always like playing cat and mouse with the people that let you buy subs, and so they're like weirdly vetting stuff. Who counts as just 2.4? It's 2 and 0.4 subs. Nice. Yeah, much appreciated. That's very cool. Yeah, so both James and Joe got gifts subbed at the beginning, but yeah, nothing else showed up. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Gifted 5 follower subs. Thank you, Abyss. Yeah, maybe it just takes a while to go through. So yeah, if anybody pops into the pops in, it will go. Yeah, the notification went off. I'm just not seeing it in Streamlabs, so it's probably just in the back end. Nice. Well, much appreciated, Abyss. That's very kind of you. And yeah, we should all, that might be something, yeah, if there's a lot of interest with people in the chat, maybe we should try to figure out an online session of the Elric RPG. That might be fun. If we get a chance to, I'll read through it, and then I don't know, it might be hard to schedule everybody if we're doing like Europe, North America, and Asia. Oh, I saw some other notification just pop up. There we go. Oh, that's the delay. That's right. Nice. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it finally did pop up into there. So gifted five memberships. Thank you. Very good. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, that's right. It does say there are definitely people watching. So, yeah, and if there's a way to claim that, oh, maybe there is. If there is a way to claim it, yeah, the five more gifts popped up too. Oh, nice. All right. Very cool. All right, so let's call it here. But yeah, that would be really fun if Abyss is sending out that PDF. We should all read up and then try to get together online and play. That would be really fun. Yeah, I don't know Elric, the world well enough, but it would be fun. I'm sure we can lean on Matt, Matt a bit. But yeah, I haven't read. I've just read a little bit of chronologically maybe the first few stories, because I have the collections, and that I think it's the collections that they recently did where they tried to put the stories in order, so like chronologically, so the writing style and everything varies a little bit between stories, but they did it. All right. But Matt would be happy to run. Oh, that would be so fun. Yeah, if we can sync that up, that'd be fun to get together online with everybody and read play some Elric. Oh, very cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. This could be really it could be really awesome if we could get the timing and the technology to work out. It would be good. Very cool. All right. So let's call it for this week. But I will do some reading up on the BattleTech Mercenaries campaign, and so we'll make it up to Miguel, I promise, and talk some more BattleTech next week. Yeah, so that campaign's got a while. Yeah, I think I brought up the Gangs of Rome earlier because it was almost finished. Yeah, I hate when I grab or find something just right as it's closing, because it won't work. All right. Yep. So everybody take care, and see you next time. So this audio, of course, goes out on the Patreon RSS feed. And thank you to everyone that's listening to that for being a patron and supporting us. Thanks again, Stefan J, for the super thanks for Blade Runner. And we'll get to, as soon as they release case file, we should actually maybe get in touch. Matt, maybe we should reach out to Free League and see if we can get an early PDF of the case file too, because that would be some good promotion for them for their pre-order whenever that drops. So they usually get the digital version out earlier, so that'd be really fun. All right, so take care and see you tomorrow, Matt, for some more Vaesen, the Estonian version, a trip to Estonia. All right, so yeah, cool. So take care, everyone, and we will do this again next week. Thanks for everyone being in the chat. It's always fun. And Miguel doesn't believe me. So see you soon, and have a good week. Goodbye.